Will Germany attack France today? That is the very big question we keep asking ourselves here on Strategic Command World War II War in Europe. Hey everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel and more Strategic Command. Thank you for everybody that's been watching, liking, and commenting so far. I know these type of games are not everybody's cup of tea. They're a little nichier, but these are games that I love, and I feel like they also need to be represented on YouTube in a greater capacity than they currently are. There are a few people out there that do them regularly and do them really well that are a little bit bigger channels in terms of not just a couple of hundred subscribers, but a few thousand. I'm thinking specifically of people like Historical Gamer or Strategy Gaming Dojo, who I do recommend you guys check out, especially Strategy Gaming Dojo. He really knows his stuff and is really entertaining in the way he does it. Just a genuinely nice guy. So I hope you are enjoying this. I will continue this through, and hopefully we can play a complete campaign here as the Allies and defeat the Axis. So today, and another quick reminder, of course, I am pre-recording a lot of these episodes. As you are watching it, I am over in Europe. So I've been busy trying to pre-record as much as possible without completely burning myself out so that you guys have content on the channel to watch. So if you like that, hit the like button. All right. So we are back in France where, of course, when last we left, the Germans continue to build up their strength. We've got a lot of corps here. Only one army, only the first army. Other than that, it's just a lot of corps sitting out here, waiting to see what the next movement will bring. We, on the other hand, have pretty much done everything we can. And so it is time to move to the next turn, really. I'm trying to remember, did I move this convoy raider up here? No. So we're going to just move him down here. That sub and that submarine is just going to sit there for now. I don't want to risk moving it yet over here to disrupt Swedish trade, but that will be a goal eventually to do so. Maybe even when the Soviet Union joins the war, then they can send some subs from Leningrad to disrupt that trade convoy. But now let's see what the Axis does. So the Axis raiders have disrupted the Canadian-UK convoys. Okay, so we're going to have to send some destroyers out that way. Industrial tech has improved further, according to the Soviet science report. And we collected some MPPs, but you can see the MPPs have been dropped in the winter down to 75% from Canada because of that convoy raiding. So now we're going to have to send a North Atlantic fleet out there to hunt some submarines. So exciting times ahead. And now the game begins on the Western Front as escorts and bombers start flying over France, and our fighters are intercepting their movements. Because, of course, we have everybody on kind of automatic support duty or auto duty, so when the enemy does launch attacks from the air, our fighters will run interceptor runs. And now more units are seemingly coming in for Germany. There is a garrison right there outside of Stuttgart moving into position. So they are amassing their forces along the Maginot. France continues to increase industrial mobilization. Very important. The USSR steps up its military production. France raises a unit of engineers to improve its fortifications. Right there, we can see the Republicans. German paratroops deploy at Hamburg. Allied raiders disrupt Norway, Germany convoys. The Irish Republic imprisons hundreds of IRA activists. And bad weather has hit southern France, as now it is time for us to begin. So, Prime Minister Edouard Daladier. Thousands of Polish soldiers who have escaped from Poland are arriving in France as they wish to carry on the struggle against Germany. Just as we formed a Polish army in France in 1918, the new Polish Prime Minister, Vyacheslav Sikorski, asked that we do the same again today. He therefore asked permission to form the Polish First Corps on our soil. It will cost us 50 MPPs at 25 MPPs for 2 turns, and this new Polish Corps will be formed at Le Mans to the southwest of Paris. Would you like to give permission to the formation of the Polish First Corps? Of course. Of course. And there you see the Polish First Corps is formed in France. And there they are. We've got 2 new units to deploy, a lot of naval units to deploy here. So we'll drop those guys there. The Amazon Destroyer. That one looks like that is where we can deploy that one. The Casablanca at Casablanca. Got another one there. And the Dunkirk battleship at Brest in France. Perfect. So that's deployment of all of the units. I wonder... we can reinforce those, but we need to see who we need to reinforce here. As of right now... Oh, just that army right there. So we will bring them up to max and have them sitting right there. I think those will sit there strategically. Polish First Corps. We're going to move them right now. Just move them up that ways. Do I want to move anybody to the south? I don't think so. Instead here, we are going to reinforce the Alp Army. And we will reinforce that core right there up to max. And can we reinforce them? No. So we are out of MPPs. But we do have our core there. Okay, so these guys we cannot operate. So we will have to slowly move them up north to Paris. I don't want to move them right along here. It's a little too close. So we're going to go the back way through Toulouse, Limoges, Bourg, Orléans, and to Paris, then that way. The British Expeditionary Force, I think, we'll just leave as is. These guys are out of the headquarter reach, but actually, you know what? We're going to move them to Chalon, because they can move back to Paris relatively quickly. So I'm not overly concerned about that. Now, I did mention we have some convoy raiding going on out here, and there it is. There is the sub. So here we are going to send this destroyer out here, and that destroyer will move here, and there it is. Enemy contact, 1-on-1. So, will we take that hit? Yes. We will try to hurt that sub. Submarine dives from attack, and we are sitting there now. So that's the reason for destroyers, is anti-submarine warfare here off the coast of Canada. I believe it would be good to start moving some of our British fleet out there. We do have this destroyer as well. Now, we could cruise him. Let's cruise him all the way out here in the hopes that they don't have any enemy contact. We'll just help them along the coast of North America. Try to see if there's anybody else I want to move that way. We're going to keep that submarine just moving along that convoy route. Keep placing it there and just leave it there. I believe this North Sea fleet we will move just down here a little bit closer to the Danish coast. I think that'll work. And start shifting them towards the German coast. The supply is still good. So we've got Helgoland down there that we could move them towards, or Heligoland, as it is often said in English. So yeah, we'll have this fleet just kind of sitting out here. I think that will work. We could move them in even closer, but I don't really want to. A light cruiser here. We've got the Polish destroyer out this way. So I think the Polish destroyer we will move along the coast and kind of place them right here in the channel. So that way we've got a battleship, the Polish destroyer, and the French destroyer sitting there. Then right off here, we've got another heavy cruiser and a destroyer kind of protecting this side. Gonna have them sit over here. Eventually, we'll have this Bulldog destroyer come out and patrol the Irish Sea. I think that'll work. The Paris battleship. I think we'll leave it right here in dock. There's no reason to do anything else right now. And we still have these ships out cruising the Mediterranean. We don't want to increase Italian mobilization just yet, but we will move them right off the coast of Portugal. Perfect. Other than that, I don't see anything else that's worth doing down here. Eventually, we will move ground forces to Malta and Gibraltar to reinforce there, but right now, there's really nothing more to do there. Let's head over to the Soviet front. And we'll just take up positions here along the border with the new border with Germany. That garrison, I think, will just stay right there. We'll have them move out this way. We will move the 14th Army down here. And just slowly move these forces along the road so they continue to stay in supply. Those guys will go to Lvov. And those guys will move up there. Other than that, we still have these guys kind of marching along the borders down here. We're not going to worry about too much. Yeah, other than that, there is not much else to do here. Everyone's kind of fortified. Am I missing out on anybody? Those units are sitting up here. I'm trying to remember, is that a garrison unit? No, that's just our regular unit in Stalingrad. The army there. They're all sitting there. Yeah, there's not much else I really want to do at this point. Just kind of sitting and waiting. Now we could do an offensive here now if we wanted to along the Maginot Line. But we would suffer heavy casualties if we did so. You can see nothing is in our favor. See the bombers, there's not much there. And our fighters, we could do air recon, but there's just not a lot there. The tactical bombers as well, not much there. We need some heavy bombers out here to also help against the German supply. We do have a strategic bomber here. Let's see, are they all set to set mode, ground, escort, intercept, auto? So I think they are all set. So those guys are just set. That guy is set as a raider. Okay. And that one is also set to raider mode. But this one here, he could escort. So we've got him on auto. I could put him on intercept or escort, but we'll leave him on auto. Now we could send some bombers out here, but those targets are all too far away. So I think we'll start moving our British air over to France, just to help out in the air war over France, keeping an eye on what the Germans might be planning here, because there is always the possibility of them wanting to land in England. But I think that takes care of our turn. So we'll end the turn, see if there are any additional messages popping up. So we got 273. I'm gathering MPPs right now. If you're wondering why I didn't buy anything or do anything, I want to build up a little bit of a reserve and then invest after that. So there's nothing else happening, and now it is the Axis turn. And just marching up a few corps up to the front line, the Maginot, as I just assume there are going to be more reinforcements coming, and them preparing for a full assault. Now we're going to have to be able to pivot. And there, the British celebrate the capture of the Altmark in Norwegian waters. And we disrupted German convoys. Looks like nobody disrupted our convoys. And now February got rain coming in, and now it is back to our turn as the Allies. And that's it. We've got a heavy cruiser that we can deploy here for the French. Where do I want to deploy that? Let's deploy that here on the Mediterranean coast. I like that. These guys we will just move out here off the coast of Corsica. We'll reinforce these guys all the way to max. Cost 52 MPP, but we have it. And now those guys are nice and reinforced. 17 MPP to operate. And we will send them right here to Paris. And we still have the Polish unit that we will reinforce. They could also control France if need, Paris, but they'll help with the reinforcement of Paris. It's raining, so there's not going to be any air combat. So here, there's not really a lot that's going to happen. We're going to move that headquarter unit right in there. You see, we've got control of those units, so we can't do any air movement at all. So no bombardments. And other than that, I think we'll head back here to the Canadian coast. And we will send that destroyer back into port here. And this destroyer, I think we will send to port back in here. There's no point to do anything else. It's only when we hear about the U-boats out there that it's really going to be an issue. Now we still have the Jersey destroyer. We'll just kind of cruise through the North Atlantic. Enemy contact right there. Against a U-boat. And they took a pretty heavy hit there from that submarine, the U-30, who's raiding the convoy. So now I kind of wish I could send these guys back out there. So we'll send those cruisers out. Back out to sea. And see if we can't all hunt that sub. Now let's head back down here. We've got some more naval warfare, or naval movements. We've got our big carrier that we will move. And we will move it right here off the Spanish coast. Other than that, there is not much else to do. Okay, we're sitting here. I mean, this is kind of 2 allied amphibious units within the zone, risk mobilization. I mean, at some point, we just have to risk it. So, these two this battleship and this battle cruiser, they've got the Straits of Gibraltar pretty well covered. So now I think it's time to start moving the British Navy along here, along the coast. And these guys are set up in a pretty good position up here. We're just going to move the Provence battleship up here. It's no reason for war, nothing to worry about at this point. Now here we're going to set the mode to silent. So we're going to send the submarine kind of through here to see if we can detect Italian or German movement anywhere. But so far, nothing is happening. We do need to reinforce these guys at some point, but not right now. And of course, we've got the British Navy sitting in right here with not much else. Now back to the Soviets. We do everything here. Yeah, they're all where they need to be. Move that HQ unit. We'll just sit right there. They'll lose some morale, but I'm not too worried. We're not at war with Germany yet. And these guys are just slowly moving. I don't see any reason to use MPPs to move them. Yeah, I think that's good movement right here, and eventually we will then, if we draw that line right here, start amassing our forces to help with the push. I want to put a line along here in certain key areas, and then another defensive position lines right through here that can easily and quickly engage the enemy. Other than that, there's not much else left to do. Let's see, we can't upgrade anything. Properties of the major city, you can see here. Anti-aircraft defense. Defense bonuses, they've got some. Not much else is really happening there. So those units are just kind of sitting there, kind of waiting. I think other than that, we could move these guys through here. Kind of move towards Denmark. We'll move that sub. Supply is pretty low, so we're going to have to move that sub back now, stop the raiding. What we need is another submarine. Do we have another submarine out here? Just trying to see. We've got cruisers, destroyers. No, I'm not seeing a submarine. It's all destroyers. That's a destroyer. Destroyer, light cruiser. Yeah, that's a battleship. The only other submarine is sitting in France. So what we need to do as the British, we need to add some subs. So we're going to go into purchasing here, and we're going to go down to submarines. They cost 200 MPP. So we're going to call this the Sahib. And we will purchase that. Arrival will be the 29th of August, 1940. Right now it is March 2nd. So there's still some time. I can't add another sub. We could add some special forces, which are always kind of nice. If we look at core, you know, attack values, a lot of ones, 4 and soft. 1 is hard. Hard targets are usually core and so on. The Army has 3, Special Forces has 3, 4 against soft, 185 MPP. Yeah, we're going to do the Royal Marines. Purchase that. And then France, unfortunately, can't do anything. The United States, though, we could do some stuff here. We could bring in another Corps or First Ranger. I think we're going to go with the First Rangers. And do we have the MPPs? 185, we do. So we got some Rangers coming. Soviets, we could bring in another Corps. I mean, it's cheap labor, so to speak, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go here to diplomacy as the British. And let's see, where can we invest any? So that's all 50, 50. It looks like we're all tied up. Can't do any more. We've got all our max chits. We've got no more influence chits left. So got 3 going to Sweden, 2 going to Finland. That's the max we can do. The French have nothing. We need to start swaying them a little bit more and more. All right, let's take a look at research. As the UK, we could go naval weaponry. That'll help. Armored warfare, command and control. Yeah, let's start research on command and control. And that will do it at this point. And I think now we're going to zoom back in here to the Maginot Line in the Western Front. And we will end our turn. 27 communist deputies are given prison sentences for disaffection in France. The RA bombs explode in Birmingham and London. Scientist reports progress infantry warfare development from 53 to 73%. And we collected more MPPs. Very good. So Canada's back to 100%. Iraq, Egypt, and so on. The Polish Corps cost 25 for France, but that's about it. And now we'll see what Germany does, because right now the axis is just Germany, because Italy has not entered the war. Germany declares war in the Netherlands. So here we begin. They are going to start. There we go. Germany declares war on Luxembourg. And Germany declares war on Belgium. So they've amassed on there. This is basically the Schlieffenplan. They're enacting that now. And now we have Belgium and Dutch units that we're going to be working with. So interceptors come in from France. They have escorts along with their bombing runs. Of course, I can't trying to go down to watch. I mean, there are the interceptors coming in from there. Our interceptors are doing a good job. Hopefully the British could do that as well. British interceptors, see? Putting them in northern France is very, very important. Oh, they took a pretty hefty hit, but so did the German fighters. Tactical bombers coming in as well and bombing the Dutch forces. British interceptors working here again. Escorts, tactical bombers coming in. Oh, that... Ooh, they're taking quite the hammering here, as those tactical bombers are trying to disrupt the Dutch forces. And there comes the invasion, completely unprepared. Kind of wish we could have more access to that, but so be it. Panzers coming in, going against a Belgian HQ and a Dutch corps. The Dutch army was now completely destroyed. Yeah, they're definitely coming in through that side. So we're going to pivot our forces in France now as well. And they've just destroyed that Dutch headquarter unit. Now all we have left in the Netherlands, we've got some naval units. There goes the Belgian headquarters. Ouch. That army's going to destroy that garrison. Full on von Schlieffenplan 2.0 invasion of the Netherlands and Belgium, as happened. Oh, there come Fallschirmjäger, so the paratroopers for Germany. I should know that because I've played the Axis, so I kind of know what units they have, but it's been a while, so I honestly just forgot. Yeah, they're just going to roll right through Belgium and the Netherlands as that corps is being pushed back and destroyed slowly but surely. They still have an army sitting in Brussels. The Hague has now been taken, and all the Dutch have is one corps left between the Hague and Amsterdam. And yeah, so the German Blitz of the Low Countries has taken effect, and they are moving in more units onto the Western Front. There we can see where that was HQ. Submarine goes away, and more movements. Luxembourg has surrendered. That was pretty fast. Germany plunders 14 MPP. So not a lot there, not quite like what Poland surrendered. And the Netherlands has surrendered, and everyone is gone. Germany plunders 133 MPP. So that was fast. German forces move into Denmark. Dark day indeed. Germany invades Norway. Yeah, so now they're going to have a naval base of operations all the way that far north. French troops panic as the Maginot Line is outflanked. And Vidkun Quisling proclaims himself Prime Minister of Norway. Wow, a lot has now happened, and we have a lot to deal with. Anthony Eden. There are now tens of thousands of enthusiastic local defense volunteers, LDV, preparing to sell their lives dearly should the Germans invade. With an investment in training and equipment costing us 35 MPPs, we could turn the LDV into an efficient fighting force capable of taking heavy toll of any Germans foolish enough to land. Winston Churchill has also suggested renaming them as the Home Guard. Would you like to transform the LDV into a Home Guard with better training and equipment? Of course. So the Home Guard has been formed, and it boosts British morale. Morale, of course, being very, very, very important. All right, 3rd Corps. And we will place 3rd Corps. We will place 3rd Corps here near London. Hunziga HQ in Paris. So we will put that HQ unit right there. And 2nd Corps in the Soviet Union. Let's see. Where do I want to put you guys? I'll put you guys here on the southern front because eventually the Romanians will be there. We'll put you right in that town. And since we're out here, we will immediately look at the Soviet front. We'll just continue moving slowly but surely into position. No rush needed at this point. We will move those fighters into Lubin. And that HQ is in a good position there. So there's nothing else really to do there. We will move that core down there. And other than that, there's not much to do. So should things happen here, we're in a good position. Now we need to move these guys onto this flank here slowly. I mean, it is all slow. The Soviet Union is not in the war yet, so there's no reason really to worry too much. We're okay down here. Moscow and Leningrad and Stalingrad are still well defended. Of course, now we have the issue that we've got a German contingent in Norway. So now we need to start thinking about amphibious landings in Norway. But first, we need to send that submarine back into port to resupply. And we will now move these guys. We're going to move that battleship first. And we could start bombing the positions here. Disrupt what the Germans are able to do here. I could do a coastal bombardment here in the south. We will take that one hit. That's okay. We will deal with it. Oslo is a national morale objective. Now, they will probably be setting up, they've got a secondary supply here in Trondheim and a national morale objective all the way in the north here in Narvik. So I'm kind of thinking maybe an invasion in the south and the north possibly, now that that has all fallen. So here we do have this Dutch destroyer that we really can't do much with at this point. We're going to send them into port and just have them resupply there. In the meantime, we've got a battleship, our destroyer, and this destroyer here. So we'll move those destroyers and the battleship just kind of moving into the North Sea here and sitting right there. I think that'll work. And then here, we've got that destroyer. Move them out to the Scilly Isles. This battleship, I want to reinforce it. Then we've got this battleship out here in Dunkirk. Just kind of move them out this way. And we've got another heavy cruiser sitting here. And we'll move that heavy cruiser right up there. What do we want to do here? There's a heavy cruiser. And there's a heavy cruiser. We could start moving these heavy cruisers up north here along the Norwegian coast. Just 3 entire units of heavies. But we could also send a heavy cruiser out into the Atlantic. I think we'll do that as well. So here, that destroyer took some pain, so we're going to send them back to St. John so they can reinforce. Now we're going to send the Canadian destroyers out. See if they can find any German submarines. It's not looking like it. Okay. Mediterranean. So we have these guys off the coast here. That destroyer. I think we'll move that destroyer into the Mediterranean. It's right in here. And we've got our carrier group, or carrier. We will move out here. And supply is still good for the Malaya battleship. We'll just position her right out here. Because eventually the Italians will come. We'll just move our sub kind of through here. Just to kind of scout a little bit. Got a light cruiser here. We've got that battleship sitting there. think what we're going to do is we're going to move that core up here. Actually, we're going to start flipping around. We've got an army and a core here. Now we'll keep that army here because then we could possibly move in that way. And you are a heavy cruiser. And we'll just move you right here off the coast of Corsica there. Other than that, I think everyone's in good position. There shouldn't be any German Navy in the Mediterranean. So we're good there. We could start moving some of these Soviet forces out. We've got a bunch of light cruisers here. They can also help. But we'll kind of see what happens next. All right, so I think that's all we will do for movement. No. Let's see, can we reinforce here? Yes. So those fighters will get reinforced. That core we will reinforce. Only by one. So they're going to get absolutely crushed. We could move the Belgians in here against that core, but I don't want to do that. We're going to move them back a little. And we're going to move... Actually, no, I don't want them to give up Brussels. Instead, we're going to move that French corps in there. I'm going to move that French army up there. Just kind of sit there. Now, what do we want to do? Polish corps, we can't operate. We're going to move you here. We're going to kind of... Let's move our air just down here. Of course, I should have reinforced first before moving, but oh well. That's not what I wanted. Click the wrong button. So we'll just keep you... we'll just move you out here. We pivot some forces up here. I think what we'll do is we'll send this corps from the BEF up there as well. So now we have a little bit of a line. Here everything is doubled. Yeah, there's not... I mean, all of these will take casualties. Yeah, I mean, they'll get absolutely crushed by those paratroopers. We could move them forward. I think what we'll do is we'll move... we'll actually just move these guys. Can we move you any further? We can. Just move that army there. The BEF further north. We'll shift those guys up there. And the British HQ over this way. So there's some room here for them to move. We could also... I could move that corps in here in an advanced position. Those panzers are going to hammer them. Yeah, we're going to move them up forward. I mean, this isn't great. They're really going to put a hammering on us. But that's about all we can hope to accomplish. We really just have these two Belgian forces left. Okay. So now let's go look at research as the British. Infantry warfare is moving along nicely. Logistics is moving along nicely. Ground attack weapons. This helps tactical and medium bombers. Anti-tank weapons. Yeah. I think we need to start investing in anti-tank, given who we're dealing with. The Americans, there too, we could invest in anti-tank. We could bump another one into infantry warfare, aerial warfare, naval warfare. Or industrial tech. We don't have the numbers. We have 100 we could spend. So for 100... I think bumping up naval warfare will be most important initially. Soviets. Let's see. We got 133 MPPs for the Soviets. And there's not much there. Logistics. Let's increase our logistics. And other than that, the British... I mean, we still have stuff we can do, but I'm Instead, we're going to start purchasing some units. Bring in some Canadians. How about another destroyer? 155 MPP. Bring in another destroyer. Or we could do maritime bombers. Those help as well. Could do tanks, core, garrison. Here's just a bunch of garrisons. The UK. No, I think it's time. We've got it. We're going to invest in an entire army for the UK, and that'll end our turn, and that'll end today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Let me know what you're thinking of Strategic Command World War II War in Europe so far, and check out some of the links down in the description as well to Discord, Patreon, Twitter, and Twitch. Until next time, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I'll talk to you soon.